Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs reviews with the Ambassador of the State of Palestine to the Sultanate of Oman bilateral relations and the latest regional and international developments. His Excellency the Foreign Minister discusses with his Kuwaiti and British counterparts the latest developments and efforts to de-escalate tensions in the region. Oman Investment Authority announces the winners of the third edition of the Excellence Award. And U.S. Defense Secretary says their forces prefer using new efforts to guide stranded ships through the Strait of Hormuz to be peaceful. Welcome to our news center. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, received in his office at Muaskar Al Murtafi'a today His Excellency Ahmed Mahmoud Al Ruwaidi, Ambassador of the State of Palestine to the Sultanate of Oman. During the meeting, the two sides reviewed the strong bilateral relations between the Sultanate of Oman and the State of Palestine. They also exchanged views and discussed a number of developments on the regional and international arenas. His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, the Foreign Minister, discussed in a phone call with His Excellency Sheikh Jarrah Jabir Al Ahmed Al Sabah, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Kuwait, the latest developments in the region, particularly those related to efforts to de-escalate tensions, promote political approaches, prioritize dialogue and understanding, and safeguard regional security and stability. His Excellency the Foreign Minister also discussed in another phone call with Her Excellency Yvette Cooper, Secretary of State for Foreign Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom, the latest developments in the region and ways to defuse the escalation and promote political and diplomatic solutions to resume safe maritime navigation in the Gulf and through the Strait of Hormuz in support of global economic stability. The two ministers stressed the importance of continuing efforts to contain tensions and strengthen dialogue channels in order to contribute to consolidating regional and international security and stability. The Oman Investment Authority announced the winners of the third edition of its Excellence Award, which comprises 8 categories during the 10th Rawabit Forum. The ceremony was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Ghassan bin Hilal Al Alawi, Chairman of the State Financial and Administrative Audit Authority.
The Oman Investment Authority announced the winners of the third edition of its Excellence Award, which comprises 8 categories during the 10th Rawabit Forum. OIA's companies play a pivotal role in this direction by implementing high-quality projects that contribute to increasing added value and achieving sustainable growth.
Today, Omantel have signed 5 agreements with 5 Omani startups. The 5 startups will be developing the AI applications that Omantel will use, and this is going to be a blueprint for solutions and applications where startup companies later will be able to sell it in the region or in international markets.
The winners are OQ Group in the investment and job creation category, Omantel in the performance and financial sustainability category, Umran Group in the private sector engagement category, Muscat International School, a project of Oman and Brunei Investment Company in the outstanding project category, Nama Holding Group, represented by its water services company, and Nama Distribution Company in the local content and innovation category, BIA in the supporting SMEs and startups category, and Omantel represented by its Maqru project in the social investment category. This year, the winners in the Economic Diplomacy Activation Project, in collaboration with the Foreign Ministry, and the Indirect Omanization in the Technology and Communications Sector Project, in collaboration with the Ministry of Labor, won in the Collaboration in New Projects category.
So these sectors are the priority sectors in the 11th five-year development plan. We look today at the different plans related to those sectors and how can we work all of us together into achieving the different objectives and contributing to achieving Oman Vision 2040 and contributing to the sustainable development, whether economically or socially.
During the forum, a package of new initiatives was announced, the result of the annual brainstorming sessions organized by the authority in collaboration with its subsidiaries. The forum also witnessed the signing of several strategic agreements that embody the commitment of the Oman Investment Authority and its subsidiaries to strengthening strategic partnerships, driving integration, and enabling projects with sustainable economic and developmental impact. Future jobs are being driven by artificial intelligence, clean energy, and digital economy. According to McKinsey, investing in AI can bring returns up to 340%, a clear indication that innovation today is a key success for tomorrow. Ruqayya Rashid Al-Khdairi, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Thank you, Ruqayya. The Greater Muscat Master Plan joined the Global Business District's Innovation Club, becoming the 15th member of this international network and the first from the Middle East. This membership marks a significant milestone reflecting the advanced position of Greater Muscat that has attained as a promising urban model that combines strategic planning, quality of life, sustainability, and the ability to attract future investments and projects. This membership reflects the strategic directions of the Greater Muscat Master Plan towards building a more productive, interconnected and sustainable global city by developing an integrated economic system comprising 15 specialized economic clusters and enhancing the contribution of the non-oil economy. Moving on to the international arena, U.S. forces launched an effort to guide commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz today, while Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that the forces prefer this new effort to guide stranded ships through the strait to be peaceful, but are ready if needs change, Hegseth further stated.
Project Freedom is defensive in nature, focused in scope, and temporary in duration, with one mission: protecting innocent commercial shipping from Iranian aggression. American forces won't need to enter Iranian waters or airspace. It's not necessary. We're not looking for a fight, but Iran also cannot be allowed to block innocent countries and their goods from an international waterway.
Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Sayyid Abbas Araqchi said today that the U.S. plan to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz, dubbed Project Freedom, will instead turn into Project Deadlock. In a post on social media platform X, Araqchi warned that as talks make progress with Pakistan's mediation, adding that developments in the Strait of Hormuz show there is no military solution to a political crisis. On Sunday, U.S. President Donald Trump said the United States would begin guiding ships out of the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, describing the move named Project Freedom as a humanitarian gesture. In response, Iran's military commanders warned that unauthorized transits will be struck and that any foreign armed forces approaching the strait will face severe retaliation. The Israeli army issued an urgent warning to residents of the towns of Jibshit and Sraifa in southern Lebanon, urging them to immediately evacuate the area to a distance of at least 1,000 meters towards open areas in preparation for targeting what it described as Hezbollah's sites and infrastructure. It explained that it would intensify its attacks in response to what it considered violations of the ceasefire, announcing the targeting of two Hezbollah members with a drone and the detection of rocket and mortar fire without any casualties. Meanwhile, the United Nations says humanitarian aid is making its way into Lebanon despite intensive activity from Israel. UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric said that over the weekend, members of the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon observed extensive airstrikes near a number of villages in the south. Dujarric had this to say.
I will start off with the situation in Lebanon, where our peacekeeping colleagues tell us that today they facilitated an aid convoy of around 30 trucks to the village of Remich along the Blue Line, where approximately 7,000 residents remain in very challenging circumstances. On the broader humanitarian front, our colleagues on the ground say that humanitarian situation in the country remains volatile, as you can imagine, despite the announcement of extension of the ceasefire. Yesterday, Ministry of Health reported 13 people were killed, including at least one child and 4 women, and 32 injured as a result of strikes in several locations in the southern part of Lebanon. On Sunday, displacement orders by Israelis authorities were renewed in 11 villages and towns in Nabatea, followed by airstrikes causing new displacements. Authorities estimate that more than 124,000 people are residing in 625 schools and other public buildings being used as collective shelters. Continued missile
And back to our local news, as the Directorate General of Education in Dhofar Governorate today held a ceremony to honour high-achieving students for the first term of the current school year 2025-2026. A total of 612 students were recognised at the Sultan Qaboos Youth Complex for Culture and Entertainment in Salalah. The ceremony was held under the patronage of His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki Al Saeed, Governor of Dhofar. Congratulations to them. And in Al-Buraimi, activities of Al-Buraimi Week for Women and Children's Health have begun, organised by the Directorate General of Health Services in the Governorate, featuring a range of events focused on women's and children's health. The event was held under the patronage of His Excellency Hamad bin Ahmed Al-Busaidi, Governor of Al-Buraimi.
Activities of Al-Buraimi Week for Women and Children's Health have officially begun in the Governorate under the theme Together We Grow Healthier. Organized by the Directorate General of Health Services in Al-Buraimi, the initiative brings together a wide range of events focused on enhancing health awareness and outcomes for women and children.
It is a good opportunity to have the public to be aware about the importance of early detection of breast cancer screening, and to increase the coverage of the women who are eligible for this screening, and to have a good outcome in an early detection so that the cure will be better.
The week opened with a seminar that drew more than 200 participants, including medical and allied health professionals from across the Sultanate of Oman, with presentations delivered by specialists from various hospitals. The seminar aims to raise awareness among women and mothers on the importance of disease prevention and early detection, while also promoting maternal and child mental health and highlighting the role of family and community support in building healthier societies.
This seminar will cover different topics regarding child protection, newborn examination. Also will cover different topics important for women like postpartum depression, screening for breast cancer, and all of them, of course, important in terms of prevention of all of this disease.
Activities throughout the week include a symposium, public health events, and a conference on women's health, targeting all segments of society with a particular focus on women, children, and healthcare professionals, while strengthening partnerships to support a sustainable and healthy community.
Thank you, Afra. An environmental initiative led by student scouting groups in turning coastal engagement into hands-on action as part of a field journey focused on sustainability. The program brought together participants from across the Sultanate of Oman, aiming to strengthen innovation and leadership skills while deepening awareness of environmental challenges along Oman's coastlines. Over several days, the scouting camp transformed into an open platform for exploration where participants examined real issues affecting the marine environment and developed practical sustainable solutions aligned with Oman Vision 2040. Workshops and specialized sessions also encouraged creative thinking, empowering participants to design community-based initiatives while reinforcing the role of youth as active contributors to environmental protection and sustainable development. Oman's academic community continues to engage with the evolving dynamics of society and education at Al Rustaq College of Education. A scientific symposium explored the transformation of social behavior and its impact on Omani values. Here is more in this report.
At a time when various aspects of life are undergoing rapid transformation, posing challenges to establish social norms and value systems, the Sultanate of Oman is intensifying efforts to study these changes. Rustaq College of Education hosted a symposium titled Education and Omani Societal Values, Changing Patterns of Social Behavior and Their Educational Implications.
I was talking about the impacts of information and media overload on people, on ordinary individuals, how this information overload affect their decisions, their time-consuming, their social behaviors as well. We have so many, studies and research here and there talking about this, specific phenomenon. So the question is, what's next? I presented some future scenarios, how to deal with that. And actually, I was talking mainly, I was trying to focus on media literacy.
Academics and specialists examined how evolving social patterns, particularly in digital environments, are influencing attitudes and behavior. Discussions focused on the role of education in reinforcing values, strengthening national identity, and preparing younger generations to engage responsibly with ongoing change.
Digital platforms actually doesn't just connect people, and they don't only provide information, but they affect our values and affect our what we value, what we choose, and also how we present ourselves in front of others. My paper go deeply in the concept of identity and how it is reshaped during this digital age, and it focuses on what we should do as educators and institution to help the new generation to focus on digital citizenship values and how to be critical when they use these platforms so they can be responsible citizens in this country.
Other discussions explored community initiatives, ethical practices in the digital space, and practical models for integrating value-based education alongside research presentations examining identity, citizenship, and social change within the Omani context. The symposium emphasized enhancing collaboration and advancing research efforts to keep up with ongoing developments while preserving authentic Omani identity and social values. Reporting from Mushtaq College of Education, this is Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
Thank you, Saleh. Within the activities of Gulf Traffic Week this year, the Directorate General of Traffic at the Royal Oman Police organised an awareness workshop titled Pedestrian Safety is Everyone's Responsibility. The workshop aimed to enhance traffic awareness among various segments of the community, highlighting the importance of adhering to safe crossing rules and reducing pedestrian-related traffic accidents. The event brought together traffic officials, safety experts and the public to discuss key challenges and practical solutions for improving pedestrian safety. It also included interactive sessions, educational presentations, and real-life case studies that emphasized the risks associated with the unsafe road behaviors. An event titled North Al-Sharqiyya Nursing Conference 2026 was also organized in the Wilaya of Ibra by the Directorate General of Health Services in North Al-Sharqiyya Governorate. The conference included 9 papers that outlined the latest practices in the field of nursing. The papers highlighted means of developing professional performance, enhancing clinical skills, and keeping pace with technological advancements in the field of nursing. The conference also included 3 sessions that elaborated on nursing documentation, evidence-based practices, the impact of communication and initiatives made by nurses to improve the quality of healthcare. The papers also dealt with job rotation in primary healthcare and the use of measures to assess the severity of diseases. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs reviews with the Ambassador of the State of Palestine to the Sultanate of Oman, the bilateral relations and the latest regional and international developments. His Excellency the Foreign Minister discusses with his Kuwaiti and British counterparts the latest developments and efforts to de-escalate tensions in the region. Oman Investment Authority announces the winners of the 3rd edition of its Excellence Award. And U.S. Defense Secretary says their forces prefer using new efforts to guide stranded ships through the Strait of Hormuz to be peaceful. With that, we do come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it is good night and have a productive remaining of your week.